All right, so when you're talking about ultra fine grading or even just fine grading, you call it what you want to call it. It all falls within the context of what you're grading and the equipment that you're using. Today, this is my equipment. Good old flat edge rake. This is one I use on ball fields and stuff like that. Well, this one's brand new. I ain't used it yet, but it'll find its way to the ball field before long. But I've got a whole slew of different kind of specialty type grading rakes that I use on ball field work. So back to the context. Okay, let's say for example we're grading a residential yard. Okay, and this is like the cookie cutter style where you go in a neighborhood and the contractor gets to do 20 yards, things like that, and they're just kind of knocking them out as quick as they can. Typically their fine grade work on that is not going to be what I personally would define as fine detail grading or fine grading work. A lot of times they run over it with a power rake, kind of knock the high spots down. Sometimes they fill in the low spots and sometimes they don't. And you're left with a kind of a bumpy, uneven, kind of yucky yard. I've been seeing that for 21 years. I know that's a fact because I've been seeing it forever. Matter of fact, this house right here that I bought, when I renovated this yard, it would be about 12 years ago now, roughly. About a year after I moved in. I done all the landscaping first, then I renovated the turf. And it was crazy bumpy. I mean, knots everywhere, low spots everywhere. And of course, I spent a whole lot of work fine detailing it to get it just right with the equipment I had. When you say put it in context of you're fine grading or ultra fine grading a putting green, then obviously you get to a certain point to where you leave the equipment at the shop and you need to ultra detail with one of these, a rake. And I'm going to rake this entire putting green area to get it absolutely mint. Let me show you something else I got. I also went by Harbor Freight, and this is the Pittsburgh brand, and I got me a couple of different rulers. Those are not rulers, a level. They're two different ones. That way I can get down on my hands and knees, and if I want a flat spot over here in the corner for working on short 2-foot flat putts, then I'm going to use this and use the bubble in the level to make sure it's ultra dead nuts perfect. I mean, it's going to be mint and crisp. So another good example of fine grade work where, in my opinion, the word fine grade is actually put to use is I follow this guy on Instagram. Oh my gosh, Dave M. Malore, Dave Mallory Malore, something like that. He's the Boston, and if you're watching this, I'm sorry, because he follows me back on Instagram. I don't know if he watches my videos or not. I have no clue. But if I butchered your name, please accept my apologies. I'm sorry. But he is the heads guy over the turf and the infield and all for the Boston Red Sox. His idea of fine grading would probably be even more detailed and more peculiar than what I'm going to be right here. Of course, I don't know that they actually get down on their hands and knees with a level and check things, but who knows, they might. But you get the point. Fine detail work or fine grading work is all within the context of what you're grading, the material that you're using. That is incredibly important. You can't go out in a plowed up field and fine grade a plowed up field with all the big clods. It's literally impossible to do. In order to fine grade an area, you have to have an ultra fine material. And this is the fine screenings. Let me get a handful and show you. You can see this right here. and see how finely ground that is. It's little teeny tiny rocks with even smaller little dust particles in it from the rock, ground up dust, ground up rock. And so you're able to fine tune and fine detail something out. Another great example is, and this pertains to lawn care, is Bermuda grass. When you are sand leveling a Bermuda yard, or in my case, I sand level athletic fields, you use an ultra fine material, which is sand. And sand is super fine, meaning the pebbles are teeny tiny. That way they're easily to work in a very tight, flat, even manner, because they don't have big chunks of stuff in them, right? So that's why you can go into a Bermuda yard, let it green up in the spring, get going, skin it down, put you a bunch of sand out there and ride around with a good level. That's the key. You can't just use any old crappy piece of something. You get you something quality. If you build one out of 2x4s, I've seen that done. It can be done. Make sure it's level when you build it. You know, don't build the drag uneven, because that's gonna transfer over to the job you're working on and leave an uneven surface. So that's why I have rakes that are dead nut straight. I mean, level as they can get. That's why your equipment doing fine grade work needs to be that way. Okay, so hopefully you get the point of what I'm trying to drive home about fine grade work. It's all about the material you're using and the equipment you're using. I do know that I'm going to start in this corner and I'm going to work kind of that way while pulling the material, my excess material, to this edge right here. Okay, I've got these poly or plastic or composite 2x4s that are put in the ground with rebar. That way it holds the material in place. That way over time the material can't give away. Kind of like a retaining wall is what this is. But I've got a very tiny gap, maybe a 1/16 of an inch, maybe a 1/4 inch in places, to where this is settled. Because remember, I put this in, I put this stuff in a month ago, and it has settled out some. And now I've got this little tiny raised edge of the 2x4. So my excess material, I'm going to work it this way and use what I have left to kind of fill that in. So because I have packed and compacted and packed and compacted again with my whacker packer, I think that's what you call it, this stuff right here is rock solid tight. I've also had tarps over the whole thing, so every time it rains, the water isn't actually penetrating, it's actually packing it even tighter. Simply the weight of the water. So this stuff is ultra tight. So I'm going to take the rake with the tooth edge, and I'm not digging. Okay, I want to make that clear. I'm not gouging into the ground. I'm simply barely scratching the surface, and I'm going to hit that in several different angles, left and right, just like that. I mean, it's simply the weight of the rake is the only thing doing work. I'm not putting any pressure on the rake in a downward motion. Now I can turn over to my flat edge and look at there. Oh, now I can ultra fine grade this bad boy just like I want. And then I can hit it from several different angles. You can't see that, but look, when I hold the rake like that, I've got a little low spot right in the middle of the rake. So that tells me that's low. So now I can take the rake and move that material around and fill in that little low spot like that. And look, just get rid of that excess. I don't need that. I'm gonna use that over there. But hopefully you can see how this goes. Now let's do this spot right here. And I don't need to go all the way up against the wall. The golf green itself is probably going to start somewhere right about there. Let me go get my knee pad. My knees ain't what they used to be, that's for sure. Now I can take my level, my ruler here if I want to, and I can actually use this and drag a little material like that. I'm looking at my bubble, making sure that's staying level. And I can check it like this. You know, this is where your imagination comes into play. Especially if you play golf as much as I do, then you can definitely use your imagination to create the slopes that you want to create the breaks you want to create, and all that kind of thing. So that right there looks really good. So it's probably going to be a hole somewhere about where I'm at right now. So this can be a breaking putt this way, or I can get up here. This section over here is roughly, let's get that level. It's about 4 inches fall, about 4 inches difference from here to here. And well, let's see right here. This is about it's about a 2-degree slope right there. So, you know, 2 degrees downhill on something really slick, it's going to be a good fast putt. So, and then when you go from there, even down to here, it even breaks even more. So that's the cool thing about this, is you get to kind of envision what you want, the slopes and all that. And I know somebody's going to ask, no, there's not a tremendous amount of undulation right here, simply because I didn't want a tremendous amount of undulation. This is mainly for jacks, and I just don't want the putt super difficult. And number two, in order to put some severe undulation, I would have to build up a part of it really high, and I just didn't want to do that. When we get a farm and get some land and move out there, then I'll show you some Augusta National type golf greens. Here's another grading type rake. This one's really wide, has a really nice flat surface. So if you're working a wider area and you really want to make sure you get the whole area smoothed out and flattened out like you want it, then this right here is a good rake. And if you want something like this, just Google baseball field supplies. It's that simple. And there'll be a dozen different places that sell all these custom funky looking rakes that you can use to do all this. Now, once I go over the entire area like this, my buddy Brad has a roller, like a hand roller. It's got the plastic drum on it. You put water in it. I won't bring my whacker packer back out here because it'll be too much pressure to pack the final grade. But that roller will kind of lightly tamp in everything, and then we bring the material in. And I am pumped to get that put out here. So next video, we'll get out here and we'll install it, and then we'll do some chipping and putting and see how well it works. So hope this helps you understand my idea of fine grading a little bit more. Check you later.